Welcome to the Know. I'm Ryan Haywood.
I'm Mica Burton.
You should really see the last time we started this read, but it seems like Nintendo's love of shutting down fan projects must be spreading to other developers, because even fan project-loving Bethesda is getting in on the legal action these days.
After honoring a fan-made Doom mod at Game Awards last night, Bethesda and its parent company ZeniMax turned right around to shut down a separate-made fan Doom game.
Ooh, two-faced. Normally, video game company protects IP isn't exactly a crazy headline, but this one's a little bit different, because Bethesda may be shutting the game down to stop the creator from funding a new Kickstarter game that might itself be kind of a copy of Doom.
That sounds a little convoluted. Okay, we just did a legal inception here, so let's go back to the beginning. The shutdown game in question here is Doom RL, a free roguelike set in the Doom universe. And despite the game being more than a decade old, Bethesda just recently decided to go all legal on it.
Last night, the creator, Cornell Kisielewicz, maybe that's the pronunciation.
Let's hope.
Not 100% sure. Tweeted that he received a notice from Bethesda's parent company ZeniMax demanding that he shut down the Doom RL website. The letter from the company's lawyers reads, "This unauthorized use of ZeniMax intellectual property falsely suggests ZeniMax sponsorship or endorsement of your website. This practice infringes on ZeniMax exclusive intellectual property rights."
The letter also suggests that he remove the meta tag information connected to Doom from his website, which seems like a really strange hoop for him to jump through. It's not uncommon for web pages to use intellectual property in their metadata if that content's about the intellectual property itself. It helps Google index pages on your site. So you may as well flag every YouTube video that mentions Doom while you're at it, Bethesda.
Also, it's a really important tool for locating things that are similar too, which is not necessarily a bad comparator.
Yeah, Bethesda!
Yeah! Obviously, Bethesda is kind of well within its rights to shut down Doom RL, or at least to ask the creator to make changes to his site. But there are a few things going on here that make this particularly strange. For one, this is Bethesda we're talking about. I mean, they're basically nobody else in the industry with a better track record for supporting fan content.
That's true. They've made headlines just recently for going head-to-head with Sony over console mods, for instance. When Sony pushed back about not wanting modders to have full control over mods for Skyrim and Fallout 4, Bethesda pushed back even harder, to the point where mods weren't even allowed to go up on Sony's platform at all until Sony made some concessions.
They went up a little crippled compared to their Xbox counterparts, but Bethesda's insistence really showed support for modders. Although some would argue that if they really supported modders, they wouldn't have let them go live the way they are now on PS4.
Yeah, quibbles aside, they've got a reputation of being the anti-Nintendo, if you will, when it comes to fan content. By this point, we're all reasonably familiar with Nintendo's sordid history with its own fans and just shitting all over them.
A couple weeks back, when it was revealed that Nintendo might have blacklisted Project AM2R and Pokemon Uranium from receiving honors at the Game Awards, Bethesda was propped up as the example of how to do fan content right, tweeting about both Brutal Doom 64 and Project Indorol receiving nominations, only to shut down Doom RL on the night of the actual awards.
Ouch. And that's not even mentioning one of the other ironies going on here. Doom first existed primarily as a shareware game for people to distribute to one another for free.
Well, no, okay, shareware was a different thing though back in those days. Shareware was the way that it's like, basically, video game companies at that point were drug pushers. The first taste is free. No, yeah, you get the first taste for free.
Gotcha.
Then you gotta pay.
Gotcha.
You get that first level, but then at the end of it, it's like, hey, here's a website. Or a mailing address sometimes.
This seems sketchy.
No, this is how it was done. It was actually nice. It was like the demo. They gave you a sizable demo that was actually good. You were like, this is a game that I want more of.
All right, video game companies.
Well, after that, there's also the fact that Doom RL first came out way back in 2002. It's kind of hard to imagine that a 14-year-old game is doing anything new to damage or threaten Bethesda's Doom IP in 2016. So the question, of course, is why now?
So that's where things get a little trickier. Last month, the creator of Doom RL promoted a Kickstarter for his new game, Jupiter Hell. It bills itself as a modern yet classic sci-fi roguelike, as well as a spiritual successor to Doom the roguelike.
That's a lot of bunny ears.
Yeah.
Its description also pegs it as an epic battle of a lone marine against the forces of hell taking place on the moons of Jupiter. That doesn't sound like any other game. No, Jupiter really sets it apart. It's not.
Yeah.
It's if the planet was redder.
There you go.
Then it would be a problem.
But forces of hell. That doesn't sound familiar.
Maybe he can fight the forces of heck.
There you go.
They're not
the
as
forces of
intense.
heck. They're just only slightly evil. So despite those similarities, or maybe because of them, Jupiter Hell has gotten tweets of support from John Romero, Tom Hall, and John Carmack, whom you might know as the guys behind Doom. In all, Jupiter Hell is looking for just over $75,000 in funding, and it's close to $50,000 raised so far.
So Jupiter Hell getting such high-profile support might be the reason that Bethesda and ZeniMax are just now going after Doom roguelike, since the creator is using Doom RL to lend legitimacy to his brand new project, which is extremely similar to Doom.
But it's different. Don't forget,
different
it's
planet.
different.
No,
totally
it's
different.
okay.
Totally different.
Sure. They could be trying to shut down the original so the copycat project doesn't benefit from their brand name.
That would be a pretty crappy move on Bethesda's part, but still way better than going after Jupiter Hell itself. Something where they'd have a little less legal ground to stand on, unless it straight up rips off Doom's assets or something. As similar as the games are, Kickstart isn't doing anything illegal by using the concepts. Indie games remix old ideas into new genres all the time.
It's also worth noting that while Bethesda does typically support modders and the mod scene, a big part of that has to do with the fact that they have jurisdiction over all of it. Creators sign terms of service agreements that basically give Bethesda the rights to all fan-created content.
But it's still a bummer for Kickstart. Fan-made content typically doesn't generate any money, and Doom RL is free after all, so really the only thing that creators get out of it is experience and credit to help fuel future projects. Being able to point to something really popular you made is sometimes the only thing that makes these projects kind of worth it. So having that stripped away seems like a low blow by Bethesda. Dick move, Bethesda.
Still, it's probably way better for him that they're just going after the original game and not his brand new project. Hopefully he figures out a solution that allows him to sell his own property, as derivative as it may be, without running into more legal trouble from Bethesda.
So what do you guys think of Bethesda going after this really old fan-made game right as the creator started up a new Kickstarter project? Let us know in the comments.
I mean, it's also possible that maybe they're about to move that direction a little bit and want to make sure that the space is clear of other similar titles.
That makes sense.
So it's possible that this is less sinister than we're making it out to be, and they do, in some instances like that, have to protect their space. But it's a real shame. On the other hand, it's on the internet. It's been there for 14 years. It's not going away.
Yeah.
So for future updates on video game companies going after fan projects, because you know it's going to happen. Nintendo.
Always. Nintendo.
Like this video and subscribe to the know.
As similar as the games are,
Last name unpronounceable.
What did we say?
Kiselowicz. Kiselowicz. I like that. Sure. That's different from how we said it earlier.
Can I just name him Kielbasa?
Kielbasa. There you go.
Kielbasa. Kielbasa Witch. There we go.
Kiselowicz.
Kiselowicz. Yeah, there we go.